Hello there, fellow summoners. Mad Dog HT here. We're going into the last chapter of this month's event quest, and we have the new champion Kraven as the boss, and he's got some pretty annoying node combinations. He's got Cataonic, which basically if you get rooted, you're going to get a disorient, and it's a pretty strong one. 10 seconds, 50% ability accuracy reduction. It's got Mighty Charge. It's going to become immune to all debuffs as he dashes into you, including stun, stage fright, which basically can only launch a special like every 15 seconds, otherwise you're going to take some degen damage, and then scared stiff. So there's that timer that I got going on right now. Every 8 seconds, if you don't hit him, you will get rooted automatically. And so on my first attempt, I did make the mistake, the fact that I didn't look into this guy's abilities too much. So you can see that little purple icon. Every time he gets inflicted with a debuff, the further debuffs are less potent by like 10%. So you can see that I think it's just the non-damaging debuffs that apply those. So like every time I stun, it's basically kind of like a limber node for stuns, but it applies to all debuffs. So I didn't bring WhMags, which is something that I definitely recommend you do. I didn't evade that special too. I'm rooted, which root, we had this last year or whatever, and it wasn't something that I enjoyed very much. It's kind of quirky on my mind as far as like what you can do as far as dexing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to bait out a lot of heavies. You need to be able to double parry, reparry. But if you don't have the WhMags, those stuns will just get shorter and shorter, like it's limber. So got to be mindful of that. And yeah, we got a special one off here, but I think I'm gonna get rooted or something here. And so I tried to go into a heavy, and his little shield thing that shortens the stuns, it was too short to where I couldn't connect the heavy, so that killed me. So we're gonna go back in with Maw. Maw's charged up. He's got 5 of the Furies from the path. Maw's actually pretty fun for the paths. He can do a pretty decent job, and his degen can get pretty nasty. The one nice thing about Maw, at least on this Kraven, is that he has those passive degens, and they can just do a lot of damage. You'll see. So I'm going to be doing a lot of like 4-hit combos and then stop, block, to try to bait out a heavy. Make sure he doesn't throw a special 1. If he throws a special 1, he's going to set those traps to where you can get rooted. If he throws a special 2, it doesn't set any traps. So right there, I did mess up because I threw 2 special 1s within like the 15 seconds. So I got that stage fright degen damage. But the one nice thing is when I'm faltering and he tries to hit me, he's going to miss. And he's going to take some damage, which is pretty nice with Maw. We're going to get to a special 2 here in a second, and I think it'll finish him off. The special 2 animation for him is not too difficult. I did get hit on the first time, but definitely special 2 is the one that you should try to push to, because you don't have to deal with the root as much, hopefully. And yeah, so we get our first takedown. Took 2 attempts, but not terrible. Yeah, we do have some worse attempts, but I do get a couple solos. This Kraven, I think just with the nodes in play, make him a little bit more annoying that he's probably going to be when you would normally see him. Here's the Cavalier deal. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to wait to the next one before I consider getting that, for when season 31 starts. But next up, we're going to go in with Cable, and this time I brought in White Magneto. So I'm going to apply the guidance pre-fight to get the passive stuns. I'm going to apply the Horseman of Apocalypse from Apocalypse. Going to apply that, and then I'm going to go in with Cable. So I am going to be immune to the bleed damage. So if I do get struck by a bleed, which Kraven has some decent bleeds, I will be able to just willpower heal from that, and I'm gonna just try to counter a lot of his heavies and whatnot with specials. We're just gonna parry him coming in, you know, even with the mighty charge. If you have the white magneto guidance pre-fight applied, you can stun on the first hit. And yeah, he does purify off those degen damages when he comes in with the mighty charge. So, you know, it's harder to stack a bunch. So here we go. I think he goes really passive here. I think maybe it's somewhere else in the fight, but we weren't able to hit him in time. You know, with rooted, you can still hit, you can still block, you can still dex, do all that kind of stuff, but you're just in place. And it's kind of quirky, at least for me it is. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that. And, you know, as we play it more, I'm sure I'll get familiar with it. You can see though, he threw a special one, and right there he's got one of those traps on the ground. So if you run into that, you'll get trapped like I did right there, and I'm going to get a little bit wrecked right here. You can throw a special attack to get out of it. You can throw a special attack to go into it and basically skip over it and remove it from the map. So yeah, so I had a special available, I threw that, but again, I threw 2 specials with the stage fright too quick, so I took some big degen damage. Yeah, kind of annoying. Not kind of, it is annoying. And then I just miss a block. That was on me. I don't know, it seemed like I had it, but I missed the parry, missed the stun, and then I got wrecked. So we're going to go back in and finish him up with Proxima. So Proxima, she's also a pretty decent candidate to use for the pass. She's a member of the Dark Order, and you can build up those Furies. So, you know, for me, I was using Corvus, Proxima, and Ebony Maw. And, you know, you get those Furies active, they can start doing some pretty crazy damage. Here I kind of opened up my stance. I shouldn't have done that. You know, the special one is not difficult to evade, but it just sets those traps right there. And I'm like, I heavied right through it, and you can see I got stuck in place. So the second part of my heavy did not connect. It's the same thing right there. So you got to be mindful of that. I don't know, root. Maybe I'll get used to it, but as of right now, and my initial thoughts were, I really don't enjoy that aspect, but you know, maybe as I get more used to it and it's more prevalent in the game, get practice and whatnot. But yeah, there we go. We got another 2-shot on Kraven. Next up, we're gonna go in, I think, with Falcon. Let's see. Yeah, pretty sure this one is with Falcon. So Falcon is a rank 3. He's unawakened. He can do some solid damage when he's locked on. And again, I mainly just brought him simply because he can do some pretty solid damage. When he's locked on, you can kind of bust through this champ. And he's a hero, so I can use the white magneto guidance on him and be able to get those guaranteed stuns, not have to worry about him shrugging anything off. So we apply that guidance boost, and then we're going to go in with Falcon. We do get the solo here. It does get a little bit sketchy towards the end. I think I only end up having like 5% health or less. And the last part of the fight, I was, you know, trying to do my best to not take enough damage to where I would to lose it, because I was very low. And again, you can't intercept, which is kind of annoying just because of the mighty charge. And sometimes, like right there, I forgot. And maybe it's this fight where he goes pretty passive several times. And so if he goes passive and you can't hit him, especially if he's got a lot of power, then you're going to get rooted. If you get rooted, you're going to take some damage. You're going to get that disorient on you. Here, I throw a special 3 to get out of that root. do some okay damage, and we're just gonna do our best to try to push this guy to his special 2, have him throw it, do our best to evade it. Yeah, I think it's like right here. He's gone pretty past. I'm like, dude, can you just throw your special 2? I gave him one little tap. I don't think I can give him another one though, because I think I'll push him to L3. So now I'm rooted. We're waiting that out, and luckily he doesn't come at me. There he goes. Now he throws it, and we hit him just in time before we get rooted again. And we're shortening our combos so that he can not throw a special 1 and not get us rooted through those hits. We throw a special 2. A lot of those bleeds were ticking for decent damage. Finally throws a special 2, but we got rooted again because he was being so passive. Took a bunch of damage there. Yeah, so it's not looking too great. Yeah, so this is where it got a little bit sketchy. He was at like 50% health left, and I was like at 15. We get a bunch of adrenaline healing, so we're at a quarter of our health. Special 2, again, not too difficult to evade. Special 1 is not too difficult to evade. It's just you don't want him throwing those, because then you have to deal with the traps. And again, with the traps, you can either walk into them and get stuck, or you can throw a special going into it and it'll basically skip you over it. Or if you get into it, then you can throw a special to get out. So right there I was trapped. I threw my special 2 and I was able to get out of the trap. So yeah, that's how you can get around this guy's root mechanic. And we're trying to bait out his heavies, keep pushing to special 2 as much as possible. Trying to activate the locked on. I take a big hit there at 2%. Now I'm at 6%, so there's not much more blocks I can take, especially if you have that disorient on you. You're gonna potentially take a lot of damage on a blocked hit. Here we couldn't throw a special because of stage fright. He threw a special 1, so now he's set a trap over there. So we're just gonna try to stay over on this side of the screen so that we don't walk into that trap. So there it is. We're gonna back up. We're just kind of dancing around. 4%, 5%. I probably should have kept hitting him. He's gonna set another trap where he's at. And I think we're gonna get one more special 1 off, and we get the solo. So there we go. I got somebody at the door, so I'll have to go get that. But yeah, we got the solo. All right, so we had a little delivery, but took care of that. So we did get the solo, which was nice. Happy with that. Was able to play around his traps and all that, but it was pretty close, too close. So next up, we're gonna go in, and this one we're gonna try Archangel, and this attempt was pretty pathetic, to be honest. So, you know, he does have Mighty Charge, but I was thinking that I could bait enough heavies and, you know, play him to where he wouldn't be dashing at me to shrug off all of the bleeds and the poisons, and I could start getting some neuros on him, and that just never happened. But I know it's possible. You know, you can play against champs that shrug off stuff like through Mighty Charge and whatever. If you know, I probably should. So right there, I threw a hit, trying to get close to him, and then I just miss a whole bunch of blocks, and then I throw this whiff heavy. Yeah, I'm like, that's not a good way to start. I'm in place, rooted in place, can't really do much. And then there, he throws his special 1, which is not what I wanted. We get rooted. And there's a trap right there as well. And I get stuck in that trap. And, you know, I got those passive disorients, which are going to prevent me from getting parries off and stuff. Which, that's the one thing is, you know, that's one of the nodes on this guy. I think, you know, with him coming at you, being rooted, trapped, you'll be able to get your parries off and kind of work around that. But with the disorients there, it makes it a lot more difficult. So he keeps throwing the special ones. I have like no health left, so it's not looking good. And I throw a special, I go over the trap, I disable that because I was in the middle of the special animation. Here he throws another special one, and I'm wondering, I did not try, but I'm wondering if you can counter his special one easily and quickly enough. I'm guessing you can. There, I walk into the trap, take that passive damage, and I die. So I didn't do very well on that one at all. And I think I just like throw the rest of my team at this guy. So I think I'd go White Magneto because he was the healthiest. And then I think I get a fairly decent chunk off of this guy. And then we go back in and take him out with Apocalypse. You know, Magneto, the one thing that he's got going for him is, one, he can get those passive stuns applied to him since he's a hero. He is bleed immune, so if you do get hit by this guy and he tries to apply those nasty bleeds, you will be okay. And we're gonna try to get some big damage off. Throws another L1, sets a trap, and boom, we throw the special too, but I thought I was going to cross over that trap, but not quite enough on the animation. So that's another thing that you'll have to get used to, is like your special animations crossing that trap to disable it, so you don't get rooted. We're just doing a lot of parry heavies right now. Got another one, but that trap does not go away unless you disable it or step into it. So there's like no option other than disabling it or stepping into it. You can see I didn't hit him in the 8 seconds, so I got trapped manually. There's still that trap back over there. And yeah. And then the stage fright, because you want to be throwing specials to get over those traps. You got to be careful that you don't throw 2 within 15 seconds. And then every trap, I think if you get in it, you take some passive damage. So there we got a nice special 2 over the trap to disable it. We're bleeding him for quite a bit, but then we didn't hit him in time, and we get trapped, and then I get wrecked. So yeah, this guy was a little bit frustrating, and I think I go back in with Apocalypse. There's just a little bit left. I'm trying to think, do I even die with Apocalypse and I go back in to finish with Corvus? Or did I think maybe I just finished with Corvus. But yeah, Kraven. I think he won't be too bad. I know you can get Corvus charged up pretty well on the pass. The first path that I took was the path that you can get him all 4 charges, and I didn't. I was building up Apocalypse. But yeah, Corvus is also a good option just to kind of burst this guy down quickly. And there we get the assist. And yeah, so another takedown. We haven't used any items, which is good, but we haven't had too many clean fights. This is a kind of annoying fight. At least it is for me. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe you got it down. But yeah, so this one we're gonna go in with Silver Surfer. So I chose Surfer simply because he's got some decent passive damage that Kraven will not be able to shrug off through Mighty Charge. Sunspot would actually be pretty decent as well, because he keeps shrugging off all of the incinerates, and you can kind of keep those charges built, because every time he shrugs them off, you'll basically get them back as if you were like heavy charging. But we're gonna go with Surfer. We do pretty well until we get to one of the parts towards the end, and then we just get like totally obliterated in just like almost an instant. But I'm gonna try to do my best to keep up the buffs from Surfer, kind of get into his rotation, keep all 3 power gain, fury, and armor ups active. And I don't need to throw specials to do that, which is super nice. I can just throw some heavies. And here we're gonna get a heavy. So we got all 3 buffs active. Beta special 2. And I think I'm gonna go for the special 3 to get the aptitude. Yeah, here we go. And we're doing pretty good. 94%, 64. Let's see how much the special 3 does. Boom, does 5%. Okay, down to 59%. So we're doing pretty good. Throws a special 1. He sets a trap. All right. We almost step into the trap. I'm trying to get it to where I can refresh my buffs, but the aptitude got those buffs activated to where they were longer. There we let the power gain fall off. We refresh with the heavy. And then here comes, we're coming up on that trap again. We need him to throw a special though because he's got a lot of power. We miss, there we go. We get trapped, we refresh though, that power gain with the heavy, refresh all of the debuffs. Throw a big special 2. Unfortunately, that did not cross that trap, and then here is where I got hit, and then I think I get trapped here, and then it's just lights out. I'm just like, move, I can't move, I go back in, and I just get wrecked. I'm just getting wrecked over and over and over again. So I was doing pretty good until that. I wish the special 2 would have been carrying through that trap and would have removed it. But yeah, here's Sunspot. Again, Sunspot is actually a pretty decent option, even though he's going to be shrugging off the debuffs. That actually will keep your charges pretty high, and you can get some decent damage off of this guy. We get trapped, and that's the thing is the node that does that. What's the node called? It's called Scared Stiff. So yeah, if you don't hit within 8 seconds, you get an extra trap, which is kind of annoying. But we finish him off with the big special, get the assist. So yeah, another assist, no solo. But this next fight, we do get a solo. So I went about, I was like, what can I do differently? And power control. Power control, don't have to worry about the traps and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go in with Punisher 2099. Punisher 2099, he is a really solid champion. We're gonna apply the White Magneto guidance so we can get the passive stuns. We do have Captain America World War II. You can use Cap, regular Cap, and I think there's one other one. But that's gonna let you start the fight with an extra like 25 battery. So almost immediately, boom, I'm in overdrive. I got 100 plus battery charged up, and now this guy's gonna get like no power. Now, if I was able to just do regular stuns, he would even get less power because I do have max petrify, and that's 30% less power gain while under the stun. And while I am stunning him, that petrify mastery, it's only applicable to regular stun debuffs. Passive stuns it doesn't apply to. But you can see I've already hit him 40 plus times, and he hasn't gotten to a bar of power, which is excellent. So now I'm still in overdrive. He has 1 bar. I want to actually get him to 2 bars, so I throw my special 2, get a nice armor break, use up a bunch of the battery for that, and we're still block baiting, and now the battery overdrive is gone, so now he has normal combat power gain. Throws the special 2. We evade that, and then we're just kind of go back at it. We're going to kind of stall a little bit here so that while our battery's going up and up and up, we need to make sure that we do hit him at least 1 time every 8 seconds. So we've got to watch that timer, kind of being a little bit passive, letting that battery just kind of naturally charge up. I'm just going to throw the special 2 right now. It uses up some of the battery, but I get a lot of damage, and I'm able to push him all the way to special 2 again. And then we're just going to kind of go back at this guy. He's got the armor break up right now because he hasn't rushed at me. There he does rush at me with the mighty charge where he removes that. And Here we're going to throw a special 1. We're going to get pretty close to going into overdrive here, but before we do that, we push him again to a special 2. So he hasn't thrown a special 1 this whole fight, and this is going to be his 3rd special 2. We're in overdrive, so his combat power rate is significantly reduced. You can see he's barely gaining any power, and Punisher, he hits pretty decent. And I'm trying to think if this guy even throws his there he goes. There, special 2 is thrown finally. Boom, we dex that, and then we throw our special 2, get some beefy damage there, and we're gonna finish him off, I think, right on the special 1. I don't even throw the special 1, but I get the solo, and I ended that fight with a ton of health. So Punisher 2099, really solid option with the power control without having to need like a power lock debuff like with magic or something that would get shrugged off. So solid option for Kraven. And then I think this is the last one. Yeah, so this is my last attempt. So then I was like, who else can I do something like that with? And I'm like, I could probably do that with Psylocke. So we're gonna apply the White Magneto Guidance. I do have Apocalypse, and I'm gonna apply the Horseman, and she already has a good synergy with Apocalypse to begin with. Now my Psylocke is just a rank 1 awakened Sig 20 6-star, and the whole concept that I was going to apply was get to my special 1, and then get him to throw a special and be at like very little power, and then throw a special 1 and then lock him down, and then just make sure I don't get hit. Now the thing that I did mess up on this was I wasn't really thinking about how he was going to get to low power with me getting to 1 bar, and so here I'm trying to get away from that trap. So I'm just doing like one hit, tap him, parry, 1 hit, and you know, we're kind of far away from that trap. And then here, I only want to be able to throw 1 special though, so I can't throw 2. So right here was like, okay, now I can throw, and I miss a block, and I totally get trapped, and I wasn't able to throw any specials. I totally get wrecked, and that was just a big fail. But Psylocke should work really well. If you can get that 1 special when he's got like a half bar or less, you can get him power locked, and then you can just go to town the whole fight. But yeah, that did not work well, and I totally messed it up. So we're going back in with Corvus. Corvus though, I only have 1 charge, so he's not hitting all that hard, and I do have 5 of the Furies. I do walk into that rooted trap, but I throw a special to get out of it, and then I try to intercept. Can't intercept. That's the other thing. Mighty Charge, other than being annoying and shrugging off the debuffs and all that stuff and being unstoppable, you can't intercept, which is super annoying. And yeah, I die. So I don't really have a lot left on my team. I do have Apocalypse, but I already used the Horseman, so he's got no charges, genetic code to work with. I could go back in with Magneto. I'm going to go back in with Maw. Maw's pretty low health, but he is charged up. He's got 4 persistent charges. He's got 9 of those Furies, and his degen damage cannot be shrugged off. It's passive, so I can do a heavy and get that nice degen damage. It's like 1200 something per tick. And I think I'm going to go to a special 2 on this one. We push him to a special 2. You know, I would ideally like to get 2 special 1s back to back, but again, with the stage fright, you can't throw specials that quick. Otherwise, you're going to take degen damage. But we just threw a special 2, and that was pretty much enough degen damage plus a little bit of falter. Takes him out. So another little tag team effort. We didn't use any items on the boss, but we only got 2 solos, and then a couple other ones where it was like a 2-shot or a 3-shot. So not the best, but Root, I don't know. If anything, I hope Kabam buffs Groot and puts a Root mechanic into Groot. Well, maybe we'll see that someday. So we get all our rewards. Got some nice 6-star shards. Got some 6-star 6 stones. T5CC selector nexus thing. We're gonna go in, we're gonna pop open those 6-star 6 stones, and we actually only get like 3 class worth, 5, 3, 2, so that's kind of an interesting little RNG mix there. And we're gonna go open up a 6-star. I'm hoping for like Mr. Negative, Awaken Fury, Apocalypse in this basic, but we end up getting a dupe on the Wasp, so that's SIG 40. Not exactly what I was looking for, but she's rank 3 and she's awesome and I use her a ton. But thanks for watching, fellas. Hopefully this helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.